Yo, welcome to Alpha Omega University. Welcome back. There we go. All right, we're working. All right. Yo, listen. Today, I'm sick. I got a fever. All right. And when I get a fever, I don't know about everybody else. Everybody's different with fevers, right? But when I get a fever, I get all tired. All right. I just get tired. I get sleepy. And I just want to go to bed, you know. But we out here anyway, all right? Because the learning never stops. So we're gonna keep it going. But I will let you guys know, I'm not gonna be as high energy today as usual, all right? Because you know I'm not 100% today, but it's okay. I'm gonna get you guys the content that we need today. We have a really good video to watch today. You guys can see it right there on the top left side of the screen. The name of this video is Tamashii Shot Calling Elevate Like a Monster for 10 minutes. All right. We are not watching any other videos today. We are only watching this video. However, we will watch it twice. Okay. The first time we watch it, we're gonna watch it paying attention to the caller, what the caller does, right, wrong, paying attention to the Zerg as a whole, the rotations, things like that, right? The second time that we watch it, we're actually going to focus on the point of view person that we got here, this guy named Swift Shooter. All right, he's a healer. And I know a lot of times people are like, yo, you know, healers don't get, you know, a lot of fame. Healers are kind of like thrown in the back, you know, all the time. Like nobody ever cares about healers. Well, this is also why I picked this video, is because this video is a great video to watch for ZvZ calling in the perspective of a caller in a very large scale ZvZ, as well as the healer in this video. He does amazing, man. He does amazing. All right. I will let you guys know right now, right off the bat, Elevate does win this fight, okay? But it's a tough fight. It's back and forth. What it is I'm gonna bring you guys back because I know some of you guys may not really know who Elevate is or was or you know, too much about them. So I gotta at least let you guys know, you know, for the people that don't know anymore, because Elevate disbanded, right, a couple seasons ago. So Elevate is a guild or was a guild that basically it came before Escalation, right? A lot of the members from Elevate, when Elevate disbanded, they went to Escalation. So a lot of the guys that you see today in Escalation are ex-Elevate members, right? Elevate was around for many seasons, I think starting in season 8. I may be wrong, maybe season 7, but I think around season 8 they started. I believe they won season 9, and then after that, they didn't win anything until they won their next season, which was season 15. But they were constantly during that entire time, they were constantly one of the top ZvZ guilds in the game, right? At some points, they were definitely the best ZvZ guild in the game. At some points during that time period, that's a few years in time. That's why, and yeah. So they were a force, right? They had multiple top level shot callers in that guild, and one of them still plays today, and that's the guy that we're actually going to be listening from today, and that's Tamashii. All right, so Tamashii is the caller for this fight. This fight happened in season 13. I don't know the exact dates of when it all happened or whatever, and it may have even happened a little bit before season 13, but I'm 99% sure it was around that time, during the big last war that there was between Elevate, their coalition, against Blue Army and PoE coalition. All right, so this is a cluster Q zone. If I remember correctly, I was in this fight a long time ago, right? I was in this fight, and if I remember correctly, the zones zoning into this zone were also queued, and there were fights happening in other zones as well. So what I'm saying is this fight is literally as big as it gets. Okay, it gets as chaotic as it gets. There's multiple fronts. I'll try to pause the video here and there and explain to you guys what side is who, and who are the allies, who are the enemies. But generally speaking, Elevate here, they are in the alliance Zip It. Okay, Zip It, right? So they got Sancta Inquisito, and they got a few others. I just don't remember who they are. All right. On the other side, they basically have everybody that they're allied to is actually in their alliance. Okay, so that kind of makes it easy. But everybody who's red is actually enemy. But you got to realize that the enemies are all red to each other as well, because PoE has their own alliance, and they're going to be red to Blue Army. Blue Army has their own alliance. All right. Now, PoE also had like 3 different alliances at the time. So even if they're getting hit by different PoE groups from different sides, which we will see, okay, it doesn't mean that they can kind of run into each other and work around. I'm explaining all that because it's going to come, it's going to be important in you know, as we go through the video. All right. So anybody got any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the chat. I am looking at the chat here. Give me a second. Hold on. All right, yeah. So yeah, drop whatever comments, concerns, whatever you might have. Tamashi, the guy that's calling, he is still playing. I believe right now he is in, I think he's with Sex and Flex or Wildcard. I think Wildcard. I think he's with Wildcard right now, but I'm not 100% sure. We need instructional videos. Bro, those are Friday and Saturday, man. Attacking a castle, defending a castle, Terry. Yeah, I will. Not yet, though. It's coming. It's coming in like a month or 2. But it's coming. But, you know, we gotta go step by step, man. You gotta go step by step. Anyway, so we got the Tamashi video here, right? And this is Elevate. Generally speaking, the fight is about it's about even numbers, but Elevate, the side that we're actually watching, has a little bit more, but that's only in this zone, right? That's only in this zone. Remember, there's other fights happening in the other zones and all that shit, but in this zone, Elevate has a little bit more people. But I mean, when it's a fight this big, honestly, like, it's about even numbers, right? So all right, let's get on with it.
All right, come northwest here. Come northwest here. Walk northwest now. Walk northwest now. Walk northwest now. Them. Stop them northwest here. Go deep northwest in 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, so I'm gonna just give you guys an explanation here because I know we got dropped into the fight, right? So we got Blue Army up here in the northwest. Okay, Blue Army's down there in the northwest. They're down a hill, and there's a kind of like a choke, like a corner there. To the east of the blob, you can see the blob over here in the southeast. To the east of the blob, you have PoE. To the northeast here, you have PoE, and PoE-R, I believe it was the alliance PoE-R, is I think that blob on the far east. So like PoE right now is barely coming into the fight. Blue Army's already dismounted, getting ready to fight, but some of them are still mounted. And Elevate was basically in position first, so they get to move around like this.
Deep and left to the BA. Over the wall. This shit's huge. This shit's huge. On the fucking hill here. On the hill. Kill them here. Kill them. I need damage. Yo, be careful for the counter. My tank's stopping him here. My tank's going deep. Pop your potions here. Yeah.
All right, so here they engaged them, right? They engaged them. They didn't kill anybody. Or maybe they killed 1 or 2 people that we just couldn't see, right? And now they're getting counter engaged. Okay, this is like just absolutely normal back and forth. One of the problems in this engage was simply that they engaged at a very long distance, right? And so when you do that, the DPS, they don't really know where the clumps are going to be. So they kind of have to run in and guess. Okay, and a lot of times that guesswork, it delays 1 or 2 seconds in the brain of the DPS player. And that 1 or 2 seconds causes nobody to end up actually dying, right? So so far, this is as straightforward as it gets. There's no big issues here. I mean, they tried to hit. It wasn't a bad engage. And then Blue Army stopped it, and now Blue Army's countering. Again, it's not a bad engage.
Nice. Good heals. Walk down northwest. Walk down the hill. Trust me. Walk down the hill.
Walk in the beat.
All right, so now they're saying walk down the hill, right? And now this is the first, like, how do I say this? The first controversial call, right? And by controversial, I don't mean bad. I just mean like one of the first like major calls that is made here, because they're going to walk down this hill here northwest, and they're actually going through a tight choke, right? Because there's a choke here and a wall there. So they're going to go through a tight choke. Now, they noticed that Blue Army engaged on them, didn't kill too many. I mean, they killed a couple, right? You got 1, 2, 3 people out of the zone now. right? So 3 people or so, maybe 5 at most. Which, I mean, you have 100+ people here. So losing 5-6 people in a full engage, it's not that much, right? It's nothing to kind of worry about. It really isn't, right? So he's choosing, Tamashi here, the caller is choosing to go down the choke and try to engage on all of Blue Army down here. Now, if you pay attention, remember I told you, they're about even numbers on both sides, right? However, remember, Blue Army has a different tag than their allies, PoE and all of those. We also have Rage Control up here, right? That's coming in, but they're mounted, so they're like kind of not in the fight right now, right? But it's like you're seeing this entire mass of Elevate, and they're gonna push down on that smaller group of Blue Army. So far, this is a good call, right? The only thing is here for the disengaged tanks, it's going to be very important for the disengaged tanks of Elevate to watch the southeast and the south because they cannot get caught on this. Also, they're going to need locusts on this choke because this is risky, right? It's risky. If they can't get past this choke here, if they can't get past this choke and they get stuck on it, Blue Army's going to get cooldowns again and delete that entire choke, right? So it's going to be very, very important that they actually cross that choke, right? They actually get through that choke, and the D-tanks are ensuring that nobody comes in behind them. All right, so let's see how they do. So you see how they're getting, like, that was literally one person clapped right there, and look at all that damage they put out, right? This is why it's so dangerous to cross chokes like this.
Walk in the BA, boys. Walk in the BA.
But they decide to commit, right? They decide to commit and say, fuck it, we're gonna full send it here. All right, that's fine. Again, they made a choice, right? They made a choice, and they're gonna stick with it. That clap didn't actually kill anybody, got people low, but it didn't kill anybody. And now the major key here is going to be that when you're coming down this choke, you're going to need to funnel to different directions as soon as possible. What you don't want to do is all go in the same direction and then clump up somewhere else, like over here. Because what Blue Army is doing, I want you guys to pay attention to this, right? Blue Army has guys here, 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 and down here, right? So if you think about it, Blue Army's position is actually a perfect arc, right? So what Elevate absolutely has to do is they need to break that arc by going in every single direction, right? But if they don't do it, they're going to get caught in one circle, and Blue Army is going to engage from all sides here. And it's basically going to be a one shot and the fight's going to be over, right? So these kind of moments, listen, when it comes to the caller made the call. It's a risky call, but every call in the game is going to be risky at some point, right? And Rage Control's up here, right? And they are POETR, not POER. They're POETR, right? And that's Rage Control, and they've dismounted now. They're going to try to flank and help Blue Army over here, right? Now, they see this. Elevate actually is able to see this off their screen name tags. This is why I told you guys in the last episode, episode 12, when I was talking about settings, this is why I said off-screen name tags are absolutely vital. Right? Because now you realize, oh shit, there's going to be people up there. So if I'm a D tank, I want to come in here and go straight northeast. Why? Because I want to try to stop these guys, right? And then if I'm a DPS, I want to engage and then cut southwest to get distance between me and the enemies to the northeast. Because right now, Blue Army may be trying to hold us with their nice concave, but if they cannot hold us, then that means we can break through them and we will be perfectly fine. So we'll see what happens.
Go deep west in 5, north, 4, 3, 2, 1, deep west in the BA, walk to the west in the BA, walk to the west in the BA here, boys. We're better than them, boys. We are better than them. Walk to the BA west here.
So you see how they all are walking more southwest and some are walking north. I promise you their D-tanks are looking northeast, right? So now there's a rock right here. There's a rock right there, right? You guys see that rock? Boom. So then the guys that go northwest are actually going to come around this way. Right? So they're not going to clump with the guys that walk directly this way. They'll clump once they're over here, but that's okay to clump southwest. Why? Because the main enemy that is threatening is up there. So you can clump all the way southwest. That's fine. Just don't fucking clump right here where this enemy up here can just delete you. Right? It's very, very, very important to pay attention to the macro of fights to understand where the next enemy engage is coming from. Now, let me back it up a few seconds and I'll show you. Blue Army did try to hit it. They just didn't hit it hard enough. Watch. Look at the damage right here.
Boys, walk in the BA. Get me seals. Go deep west in 5, north.
See that damage that's coming out? There's only a little bit of damage coming out from Elevate to Blue Army, but Blue Army is actually engaging right now. They're counter-engaging, right? Because you need to, but the majority didn't have their cooldowns ready. This is why it's so important to have a Zerg that has cooldowns that are all about the same, because then you all get to engage at the same time. In this scenario, they were able to break through because they had defensives, and on top of it, Blue Army just did not cycle their cooldowns appropriately here.
4, 3, 2, 1, deep west, deep west in the BA, walk to the west in the BA, walk to the west in the BA here, boys. We're better than them, boys. We are better than them. Walk in the BA west here. We break through this fucking choke. Come
Tanks are holding east. Tanks hold.
So now he's saying, see, Tamashi's right here, right? Now he's saying tanks hold east, right? Because again, remember, I already told you, there's those guys northeast. He knows it, but he needs to focus on calling, right? So this is the moment where I tell a lot of players, it doesn't matter what your role is. I tell you guys all the time, man, you guys cannot wait until the caller tells you what to do every single time. You guys can't. You cannot be doing that, right? The reason is because he is too busy trying to call the actual engage and the movement of the Zerg to tell the D-tanks, hey guys, look northeast. Now, listen, you can try, and if he can do it, it's even better, right? It's even better if he can do it. But the point is that you guys have to be responsible for your jobs individually, right? Now he's telling you look northeast. And by the way, right here, I think I see King Mojo and he's dead, right? So basically Blue Army at this point is kind of fractured, right? They're kind of spread. Mojo just died. The caller for Blue Army just died. And now they're kind of fully spread and they're going to have to regroup. So this buys Elevate a lot of time. They were able to break through a choke, and not only break through a choke, but also at least temporarily break the enemy.
Turn east. Hold it.
Yeah, they're southwest of us.
Hold them in the choke.
So now, this is another very important key right there. Did you guys hear that? They're saying CIR is southwest of us, right? So that's one of the other callers in Elevate that is actually relaying information to Tamashi. The other caller that's relaying information there is Momono, right? And Momono is another one of those very known callers in the game. And right now he's just kind of backup calling, right? He's giving information, he's scouting for him, he's doing all those things. And he's telling him, so Tamashi is looking at the main threat because he's the main caller, right? He's looking at the main threat, which is northeast up here, right? But that means that the secondary caller is down somewhere southwest looking at the back. So this is why scouting information is incredibly important. Now, when people go and say, oh, well, yeah, scouting is easy, you can just run around and find whatever. No, it's not, because the best scouts are also callers themselves. Why? Because you need to be a caller in order to actually know what side is important for you to scout. Okay, so this is why, like, having Momono as a scout right now, as a secondary caller right now, is actually very, very, very beneficial to Elevate, because otherwise CIR would have just flanked them from the south while they're trying to engage northwest.
Okay, hold them the choke here. Hold them the choke east here.
Yeah,
hold them the choke east here.
hold
Them the choke east here. Come north. Trust me, that's VOD. That's no. I can't hit south one. They're coming from east. Pull north.
So you see the communication between them, right? He's like telling Mamono's telling the main caller, he's like, you can hit south, right? And then Tamashi's like, I cannot hit south because I don't have cooldowns right now, right? It might seem that they're like arguing or bickering in a way, right? Like going back and forth, like do this, do that. And it's like, but that's not what they're doing. They're actually communicating with each other and telling each other information, right? They need to both be on the same page, because essentially in fights at the highest level, and I'm telling you guys, like, this is the highest level fights that there are in the game, that there have ever been in the game. Okay, like I'll put it this way. Fights today, I haven't seen a single fight that even comes close to this level of fighting in the past 6 months. I have not, right? And that's just the truth, okay? So when you get to such a high level of ZvZ, you're gonna need to have essentially two callers that are constantly talking to each other, right? They're constantly feeding each other information back and forth to relay everything that's happening at the same time. And you need to have competent callers that are gonna make the right calls here. So far, Elevate's doing really, really good. They kind of got a little lucky pushing that choke. I don't want to say lucky, but they took a risk and the risk paid off, right? Pushing that choke. But now that they've pushed that choke, Now they're actually in a better position looking at the northeast group, and then they're looking now at the southwest group with good information.
North. We go deep south in 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep south here. Deep south in the square tail. Walk over square tail. South here. South. Deep south in the square tail. Walk through them. Walk through square.
All right, so he pushed deep south, right? You guys heard that entire thing. I mean, we don't see it on the point of view, but that's fine, right? What we are seeing though here is that, look at this. There's a tank. Oh no, that's an eagle, right? But there's tanks up here. Like there's a locust over here making sure that the guys can get out, right? These guys got killed, but it's like, how many people? Like we can actually count them. 1, right? Let's count this body just in case it came with them, but I don't think so. But let's say 2, 3, 4, and that's it. Right? Maybe there's another hidden body back there. 5, right? 5 deaths. Again, remember, 5 deaths in these kinds of fights, it doesn't fucking matter, right? It's so often that I see players look at a clump that just got killed, and then they're like, oh my god, the enemy's so strong. Look, they killed that clump. Oh, well, guess what? Now this enemy just engaged up there, right? They deleted this, and guess what? Now they don't have cooldowns. Right? So it's this moment in time that you should actually be like, okay, yeah, they're useless now for 20 seconds until they get their cooldowns back, right? For 20 seconds, they literally cannot do much to me. So at this point, you can walk down and know that these guys up here are going to be irrelevant at least for 20 seconds.
Walk through Square Tail south here. Let's go. Come southwest up the hill. No, stop going to Square Tail. Come west up the hill now. Southwest up the hill. Southwest up the hill. Southwest up the hill. Or just go around. Southwest up the hill or just go around. Sun's here too, man. Fuck, man.
Rage control.
Come southwest here. Get through the chokes. Just get through sun. Come west here. Regroup on the west side of the
So now they're pushing on PoE, which is a different guild. It's Sun, and then they have PoE Scoia'tael. This is PoE DL, right? So they have PoE, regular PoE. They also have PoE DL, right? They have PoE TR, right? And then they have the Blue Army Alliance as well, right? So that's 4 alliances versus 1, right? So obviously that matters. Why? Because these different alliances, these 4 different alliances on the PoE and Blue Army side cannot actually fight together. It has nothing to do with numbers. Just because they have more name tags or more alliance tags does not mean they have more numbers. I'm telling you, the fight was about even numbers. But there's a difference between one side, like PoE and Blue Army, has less debuff, right? But they have the problem that they cannot fight inside of each other. And we're gonna see that come into play right now, because there's another guild up here, Handel. Handel is with the alliance Zip It, right? With Elevate. We're gonna see that come into play where they actually can play together, and this is actually how they end up winning this fight. Let me catch up on chat, because you guys been typing. Hold on. Holy shit. Just Smacks, I would like caller lessons. I mean, this is a caller lesson. Smacks, this is a caller lesson, man. I would like to be a real caller, not just Red Zone and Hardcore Expo. Sarge, you're always gonna be an F tier caller, man. You're just gonna stay there. It's never gonna come out. You know what I mean? We might just rename it to like X Sarge tier caller. You know? You can be what? Hold on, let me see. Information super huge in a fight. Yep. Good info can win a fight, and bad info can cost you the fight. That is true too. I do want to. That's a good point that Sarge makes. Is that bad info can like wrong info or just badly timed information can actually lead the caller to make a bad play, right? Now you can always say, well, it's the caller's job to make the decisions. Yeah, but if he's making decisions based on bad information, on bad intel, that can definitely fuck you up. More name tags equals more loot. Yeah, I guess. All right, let's keep it going.
Fucking hill here. Walk into sun. Pop your abilities. Walk into sun. Qs and Ws. Walk into sun southwest here. Pop your Qs and Ws. Catch sun here. Walk into sun. Nice job. Go southwest here. Keep going. Help our backline. Turn. Help our backline. We have ease up now. Look east. Look.
All right, so he's basically right now he's just trying to stabilize, right? He got surrounded. Okay, what happened was I'm gonna forget what's on the screen, right? But essentially, he was right here. Blue Army was right here. He collapsed on them, right? And then after that, he was right here. And then PoE TR was up here. And then regular PoE came from over here. and then Scoia'tael came from over here, right? And then the wall was over here. Okay, so this was literally the positioning that they were in, right? So he basically pushed directly southwest. I know our point of view got kind of sidetracked and stuff, but it's okay. So that's why I'm explaining it. So he pushed through right here at southwest. He went southwest, and now they're still along the wall, but they're southwest. And now the enemies, so they're there, and the enemies are going to be up here and up here, right? So he broke through one side completely because he's able to do that. Because remember, his force, right? His force, let me draw it bigger. His force is that big, and the individual enemy forces that blocked him in are that big, right? Collectively, they're the same size. But if he takes this entire giant ass group and just runs over this side and has D-Tank stopping this, D-Tank stopping this, then suddenly it's a one-on-one fight where you're fighting basically, you know, 60, 70 people versus like 150, 180, right? So that's the point, right? This is it. This is exactly what you're supposed to do, by the way. So I know, Smacks, you were asking about, like, you know, calling lessons, right? That's one of the biggest things I can say. Whenever you get sandwiched in between multiple enemies, push through one of them. If you can choose which one you're going to push through, always push through the weakest one. Here, they didn't necessarily push through the weakest one. I think the weakest one in this scenario would have been Rage Control, Northeast. But if they'd done that, then they would have lost angle. They would have been a north to south. Here, they actually pushed through southwest, which was harder, but now they have angle.
East. We turn north, actually north. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep north on the fucking bend. Deep north of the bend is CNR. This is your scope here on the bend.
So now I do gotta mention this. This is a very risky play. This is a very, very, very risky play what he did. Okay, let me rewind it back just for a second so you guys can understand.
5.
All right, so his Zerg is positioned here and down here, right? So you can see his Zerg, great. The enemy is up there, right? Okay, now there's some enemies over here, but let's just say the D-Tanks can cover them. It's you're not really worried about these. The D-Tanks should be covering that, okay? But this is a very risky play. Why? Because here you have a choke, a rock. It's not a choke, it's a rock, right? You have some rocks over here, but I don't care about those, okay? What you have, oh no, I deleted everything. What you have is this rock here, okay? So if your Zerg is positioned down here, and you want to engage the enemy that's over here, you have to go around the rock and hit them. You never want to do this. This is literally like I'm I'm telling you guys, like, this is literally the very first lesson I learned as a caller. All right, it doesn't mean that every caller learns this at like the first lesson that they learn, but this is literally the first lesson I learned as a caller, and I learned it because I got my people wiped very often doing this. So the rock is going to force you to clump, because let's say you are this guy here, okay? I know he's a healer, but let's say he's a DPS. He's going to walk like this and then cut across through there, right? To hit down there, right? Let's say this guy here, all right? He's going to go like this and go there, right? Pick another guy, this guy here. He's going to go here and go there, right? And it's going to keep happening. And so what you see here is you're going to have a big clump there, right at the edge of the rock. Okay, you're gonna see it happen on the video, right? And yes, I've watched this video, but like I haven't like completely watched every single fucking second like this, right? So I'm actually like watching it with you guys right now as well, right? So I'm just telling you, this is literally what happens every single time. That's my point, is that it happens every single time. So whenever you can avoid engaging like this, you want to avoid it. On the flip side, if you can make the enemy engage you across a corner like this, you definitely want to have them do that. So let's see how it goes here.
4, 3, 2, 1. Deep north on the fucking bend. Deep north of the bend is CNR. This is your scope here on the bend. This is your...
See what I'm talking about? Look at this. See what I'm talking about? Keep watching.
Scope here on the bend. North of the CNR.
Now they start getting clumped, right? Because one camland, that's all it is. It's just one fucking camland. They got all these people.
Nice shot.
Look at that. Look at all that damage from one permafrost. Right? So just imagine if the enemy, if CIR here, CIR is the enemy to the northwest, right? Just imagine if CIR actually was able to do a proper counter engage here. They could have honestly one-shot like a lot of these guys, like at least 10, 15 of them, right? So essentially what I'm saying is you have to be very careful in engaging on corners, okay? On the flip side, I want you guys to also pay attention. If you are this guy, if you're PoE, what you want to do is you want to be like a Grove Keeper. You jump and you stun right here, right? If you're a heavy mace, you snare charge in here and then fucking purge it, right? It's gonna be so easy to stop the enemy engage simply by doing this. Now, I do want to say they did get kills, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kills, 5 or so kills, right? 5 or so kills. Listen, it's not bad. It's not bad. Like, you want to take whatever amount of kills you can get, right? But again, remember I said 5 kills in this kind of fight, it's not that big a deal. And you're risking a lot here. So this was a very, very risky play by Tamashii. He ends up coming out of it okay, but it kind of puts him in the back foot.
Stabilize. Come west, pull west.
Yeah, coming from southwest.
Pull west. Fuck, man. Pull west. Come west here. West here.
See, I don't know. We can't see from the point of view why he's saying, fuck, man, you know? But I assume he's getting upset because he's realizing that his Zerg got kind of hit hard, right? And you might think, okay, well, no one died. That's okay. It doesn't matter. When the enemy is able to put this much damage on your Zerg, this is what happens. Look, remember, we're following a healer perspective, right? Look, this guy's low, this guy's low, this guy's low, this guy's low. And look at all his cooldowns. What can he do? He can drop a Q, okay, but that's not going to heal all of these people who are fucking low, right? So he basically gave an opening to the enemy to put out a lot of pressure onto him. This matters, and it matters because it puts you in a worse position every time you do it.
Get around this rock. Get around the rock. BA overextended the engage. Get around the rock here west. Get around the rock here west.
See how they can't catch up on the heals? See, like they just can't. They cannot catch up on the heals. He's throwing an orb. He's throwing a Q desperately, but it's like he can't catch up on the heals. Now he has people dying back here.
West. I don't have cooldowns. Go southwest around the rock. Southwest. We engage hard.
So now he got split. Some people went down here, and now he's coming down here. Some people went straight across. I'm not sure what they were doing over there. I mean, the point of view doesn't really see it, so I can't really comment on it. But what I can comment on is that they're taking a lot of damage. Like, you can also see these guys down here. They're all low still, right? They're like 80%, 50%, right? That's not good. You're not healthy. You're not healthy, and this is why Tamashii right now is saying we need to stabilize, right?
South in 8 seconds here. Stabilize the choke. Don't clump in the choke. You get ready with the locust? All right.
See, this is why I told you guys, this is the highest level fighting that there's been in the game for a long time. Like this is literally the highest level fighting in the game ever, to be honest, because they're trying to rotate out of multiple engagements in the front, right? They have another fucking front over here, and now they just got flanked from this side, and there's enemies. You see the red name tags over here? Blue armies down here in the southwest, right? Literally the entire fucking fight is like this. And by the way, this is literally how most fights during season 13 work. So if you weren't around for season 13, my God, you missed out. Like, at some point we will get fights that are that high level. At some point we will. It's gonna happen, okay? But I'm letting you guys know, essentially, like, you know, the fights that we're experiencing today are much lower quality, much lower level than the fights that were around back in the day. Latorian, yeah. What's up, man? Yeah, it's BA. So this season 13 fight. This is a season 13 fight that we're reviewing. Yeah, it's Blue Army and PoE fighting against Elevate. Anyway, I'm gonna keep rolling.
Come south, feet through the choke here. Come south.
Look east, look straight east.
Go east now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deep east.
So see how one caller is telling him information. Hey, bro, you gotta hit east. We have a good chance here. We can fucking roll them over east. Let's go, right? And then the other caller, Tamashii, which is the actual caller that's calling this fight, he decides to make the decision based on that, right? Because he can choose to engage on Blue Army. Oh shit, I don't know what I was doing. Wow, I've never done that before. That was weird. All right, he can engage on Blue Army down to the southwest, or he can turn around, try to hit them up in the northeast. Instead, he's gonna follow what his secondary caller, which is Momono, is telling him, which is to hit up here on these guys on up the cliff. Let's see how that happens.
Baby, deep east up the hill. Good shit, Momono. Deep east here. Kill the rest of Square itself. Easter. Come southeast now. Feed to the choke.
Boom. So look at that, right? He sent his entire mass, right, against weakest side. Why was this the weakest side? Well, not because Scoia'tael was the weakest guild, but because Scoia'tael had just engaged and they had no cooldowns, right? So Scoia'tael had just engaged and they had no cooldowns. Plus, Scoia'tael did not have that many people here. So therefore, with the bigger group, they can just use the mass to completely flood over. And now Blue Army is trying desperately. You can see a couple guys, Blue Army there, right? Blue Army's trying desperately to cut them off right here and catch them before they go up this. Because Blue Army knows if they go up this, they're gonna basically get all these kills for free. So it's up to Blue Army to make sure that they don't cross this fucking choke for free.
Choke southeast here. Feed to the choke southeast. Feed to the choke. Southeast here. Keep coming. Get to the choke. Okay. Come east. Come east. Don't go southwest. Go east.
So he says BA southwest of him. Now, I don't ever see that in the entire fight. And from what I'm looking at, Blue Army's actually up there, northwest, right? There's only a couple guys down here. So I think that was bad info, but I'm not 100%.
Please go directly east. Send locust in the choke here. Keep coming east of you.
See how he walks south and like you don't see anything? Like he could have easily walked south. Here's another thing. I'm gonna explain to you guys because this is very important. Look at this blob, right? Look at this pepperoni down here, right? The blob is at the center of center mass, right? And if you don't understand what center mass is, just Google it, all right? But they're at the center mass, okay? And that's very important because if you're at the edge of the blob, like they are here, right? Then that means that south of you, there's probably not a lot of people. So you get info that they're south of you, but you don't really see them, right? If I was Tamashi, I would have walked down here just to check it, right? And knowing that it's bad info, then you can get out of this, walk south, and then you take south angle because Blue Army, you see Blue Army name tags over here, right? If they were to do this rotation here and go around this way, now suddenly they are behind Blue Army. When Blue Army is engaging this way, they're behind Blue Army and they can get their back line. Because remember, the PoE guys are far up there north and far up there northeast. So if you come over here to this west angle, then suddenly you're literally one-on-one with Blue Army. And remember, the elevate force is bigger here than the rest of the PoE and Blue Army forces.
Keep coming east. Get to the choke, man. Get to the choke and ping. Unping. Nice shove.
Yo, you can full turn right where we just engaged.
Go northeast now. All right, we turn southeast. Actually, go west. Sorry, go west. West back up the hill. Northwest up the hill. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deep.
So Mamono keeps telling him like, oh, you know, keep hitting here. You know, we got a lot going on here. Hey, dude, stop going that way. Come back fucking west. Hey, man, look, it's huge over here, right? Here's the thing, man. If you're a scout or a backup caller, don't do that. Don't do that. Because what you're doing at that point is you're overcalling. There's a fine line between giving information and trying to overcall the caller. Okay? There's a fine line. And if you cross it, you're an asshole. If you don't cross it, you're a huge asset to the team. And right now, Momono's crossing it because he keeps repeating the same shit. Tamashi wanted to go southeast or southwest, right? But Momono keeps saying northwest. Oh my God, look, it's a huge club. It's great, right? And it makes it chaotic. And so Tamashi's like, okay, I guess we go northwest, right? Let's see how that happens.
Deep northwest on the fucking choke.
In the second choke.
Deep northwestern. Kill the rest CIR. Deep.
So they engage northwest, and I know maybe you guys can't tell or anything, but I only see 2 guys of CIR actually getting low. 3. Okay. The rest of these name tags that are like very low or about to die are elevate name tags. Okay. So what was happening? Remember I told you guys, right? I said Blue Army wanted to cut this off right here so that they don't get away for free. Remember I said that? Well, they caught a few people. And Momono, I don't know if he's caught in here because I don't see his name tag. I don't know if Momono's caught in here and that's why he's going crazy. Like he's basically trying to get the caller to save him using the entire Zerg, which is not a good call, right? Like if you're gonna die, just shut up. Like like just be quiet. Like 100%. Like just die in peace. Like just die quietly, right? If you're gonna die, just die quietly, right? Because this is not good. Now he's sending his Zerg up here, right? And they don't know what's going on. They're gonna engage, and you might even make them cross this choke. And if you do, you're dead. I mean, look at all of PoE Sun right here, right? Remember, Blue Army's down here, but I also see some CIR guys, right? This is not a good call. This is not a good call. But I don't blame Tamashi for this one because, and I'll rewind it so you guys can listen to it, right? It's basically the backup caller. It's Momono who's just trying to overcall him nonstop here. Let me rewind it a bit.
Nice shove.
Yo, you can full turn right where we just engaged.
Go northeast now. All right, we turn southeast. Actually, go west. Sorry, go west. West back up the hill. West back up the hill. Northwest up the hill. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep northwest on the fucking choke.
In the second choke.
Deep northwestern. Kill the rest CIR. Deep.
You see what I mean? Like, he just keeps repeating the same thing, right? It's like, listen, give info and then move on with your life. If the caller doesn't go with that info, then the caller didn't go with that info. It is what it is, right? That's all it is. It's just move on with your life. The caller does not need to follow whatever scouting information you give him, no matter how good of the information you gave him is, right? Listen, I scout all the time. I scout all the time. And I don't think that the callers that I scout for are always making the right decisions. Sometimes they make the right decisions, sometimes they don't, right? And when they don't make the right decision, and I'm like, God damn it, you know, I don't say shit. You know, this is why I have push to talk. And then I don't press the push to talk. And I'm like, God fucking damn. You know what I mean? And that's it, right? Because I'm just like, damn, like we fucked up, you know? But it's not my call. And it's also not my job to fucking try to overcall him or tell him that he's wrong in the middle of a fight. Don't do this. Do not do this. I know a lot of you guys that are trying to like become better scouts end up doing this a lot. You guys have to stop. You guys have to stop because this is very irritating to callers. And not only that, it confuses the Zerg. See, and now he's getting sandwiched. Look at this, right? Because he pulled back in there, right? This is why I said it's such a bad call. Look, all of Rage Control came in and is hitting in his backline now. He has enemies northwest. He has enemies southeast because all of Blue Army's rotating and they're down there. So he's pincered up in this fucking hill, right? All because the scout decided that his call was better. And remember, listen. Momono is not a bad caller. He's not a bad caller, okay? Like, he really is not. I'm just saying in this fight, he is the scout. In this fight, he is the backup caller, okay? Either way, though, it doesn't matter how good of a caller Momono is. This individual call was fucked up. And this could have... Honestly, I'm very surprised this did not cost him the fight.
Get in the choke on ping. Get up the hill. 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 Get up the hill.
Straight north. Heal each other.
Hold it. Straight north. Hold on ping. We got a couple people left.
Yo, we should just full run.
Look how low they all are. Look at their HPs. The healers can't keep up. This is what I tell you guys, man. This is pressure, right? This is absolute pressure. Constant damage to an enemy Zerg. The healers cannot out-heal it. And it has nothing to do with mana. The guy has mana. But look at his cooldowns. His cooldowns can only manage so much. You understand? This is very, very important. Like, a lot of people think that you guys just have to get kills every single engage. You don't. Remember a few VOD reviews ago when we were VOD reviewing Blue Army, I told you guys that it used to be where the engages happened across the entire line. It wasn't just engage on one clump and that's it. It was engage across the board. Why? Because look at this. This is what happens. The healers cannot top everybody off. And eventually they're going to die one by one.
West now. South now. Come west. No, go west. We go west. West in CIR. Straight northwest in CIR. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Northwest in CIR, baby. Push down this choke. Northwest in CIR over the wall. Northwest in CIR. CIR here. Northwest. Ready?
Now, so he had to make a choice, right? He had to make a choice on which direction to go. Northwest, southeast, because he didn't have any other options, right? He knew that Blue Army was wrapping around his south. Now, Blue Army is the #1 biggest threat in this fight, right? Like, Blue Army Zerg in season 13 was like fucking murderous, okay? So here, which side is the weakest side? Well, the side that doesn't have Blue Army, right? So he chooses to engage northwest. It's a fine call. I mean, here's the thing. The truth is, it's a shit call, right? It's a shit call. But the thing is that he had to make this call. It was either a shit call or a shittier call, right? So he chose the better of the two shit calls, right? This is the situation that bad information put him in. And this is exactly what Sarge was saying. Information is super huge in a fight, but bad information can cost you the fight. This is exactly what Sarge was saying about in the chat, right? This is the problem right here. Because again, honestly, in my opinion, honestly, you got to give Elevate props, like real big fucking props here, because that mistake cost them the fight and they somehow were able to bring it back, right? So, like, remember, I told you guys, Elevate at this time was very strong, very, very strong, right? Any Zerg, and I'll tell you guys the truth, any fucking Zerg in the end game right now, literally any Zerg in the game right now, I don't care what Zerg in the game right now, you put them in this exact situation, they die. I promise you, they die. Because Elevate was just at another level at this time. So was Blue Army, right? All the Zergs right now are just playing at a lower level, at a lower tier. okay? And this is why I wanted to show this fight today, and why I keep saying it and emphasizing it, is because I want you guys to realize that there is more out there. There is better out there, right? There's better play styles. There's better ways to play the game than the way that is currently being played. Oh shit, I got the wrong thing on. Hold on.
Damage, I need damage. Where's my damage? Where's my damage? Pull up these now. Pull up these now. Get back in the choke. Get back in the choke now. Get back in the choke. Get back in the choke.
So he tried to push through. He tried to push through. It didn't work. And then he ends up losing a bunch of people, right? It didn't work. Listen, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I told you, I don't blame him. But look at what happened. The PoE guys that were down there, the rage control guys, they actually rotated northwest. I have no idea why. I have no idea why. I really don't. Like, this was so stupid by rage control. Remember earlier when I said that rage control was the weakest Zerg? That's because they do this kind of shit. I have no idea why. They had them pinned. This was GG. The fight was over. The fight was won. I don't know why they rotated away. So, but they did. And this is what allows Elevate to come back.
Get back in the choke here.
I gotta mention. You see how Tabashi's voice is kind of like, all right, get back in the choke, guys. All right. Yeah, just come back up, guys. Come back up. Like, he realizes we're fucked, right? But he doesn't know that the southeast is open.
Pull up these. Get out of the choke. Get out of this hill. Get off the hill. Come southeast. Get off the hill. Go east into Heimdall. Go east into Heimdall. East into Heimdall.
So he's saying go east into Heimdall. Now he notices that Heimdall is down here. So PoE Rage Control pulled away because they saw Heimdall coming. They didn't want to take the fight with Heimdall. Now Heimdall wasn't a very great Zerg. They really weren't. Okay, so wasn't Rage Control. But I mean, you know, like, you don't just give up position and run away from a fight, right? This is the difference between a bad caller, which was the caller for Rage Control. I have no idea who it was, okay? But whoever it was, that's a bad caller, right? To give up this position like this, and then you know, Heimdall did actually a really good play here, even though they're not a great Zerg. They did a really good play because they knew that they had to save their allies from this hill. It's like fucking Saving Private Ryan or some shit.
East and Heimdall. Help our backline here. We're getting. Go easter.
Also, Blue Army rotated. Remember they were right here, southwest somewhere? Blue Army rotated here somewhere. I have no idea who was calling for Blue Army here, but it wasn't Mojo because Mojo had died, remember? So someone else was calling for Blue Army here. I don't know who it was, but that was a fucked up call. Right, because Blue Army should have stayed here to make sure to block this side, right? And this is the difference that a good caller makes in a Zerg, right? A good caller is not gonna make that mistake, right? It doesn't matter how good the Zerg is. If the caller makes the wrong call, the whole Zerg is out of position. Latorian says Duratine Dell sucks. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't. Probably Duratine. Definitely not Del Negro. This is season 13. Del Negro wasn't in Blue Army. So Duratine maybe sucks. I really don't know. I really don't know.
Go easter. Keep going east. We go north. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep north of the rage.
Look at their HP again, right? Just keep looking at that, man. That's pressure. That's huge pressure. Look at this guy, right? That's pressure.
Control. Deep north of the rage control. They're all caught here. Deep north of the rage control. Rage control. North here. Hit this clump, man. Nice shot. Keep.
Now he turned on rage control. Remember rage control how kept running away because they were scared, right? Every time they were in any position, they just ran away, right? Listen, if you're fighting a war, these are the last fucking enemies you want in your Zerg. Seriously, like, because there's Zergs that will go into fight and tell you that they're helping you fight, when in fact they're not helping you fight, and they're actually just taking up spots in the queue, and then they tell you, oh, I'm flanking the enemy, but they're actually not, right? And they give you bad information and shit. This is the kind of ally you definitely don't want, right? And so now Elevate engages here, and then they're gonna pull up this way, northeast. Why do they pull up northeast? Because all of CIR is coming from the southwest. I don't know who's southeast. I don't think anybody is, but they could pull southeast here, but I guess they want to go through this tiny little choke for whatever reason. It's not a bad call because they don't really have a lot of pressure here. They're the ones putting pressure on rage control.
Come northeast now. Actually, come east. Come back east. Come east.
Now, this is actually a really good call. I forgot about this in the video. This is actually a really good call. He was actually engaging on rage control, right? and he actually notices that he's gonna get flanked and that he's over here and he's on a choke, right? This choke here, right? So putting his Zerg here is deadly, right? But he notices it on his own. And by the way, did you guys notice that Momono stopped like giving information? I don't know if they told him to shut up or if he died. Either way, the fight goes a lot smoother from here on forward, right? Listen, again, Momono's not a bad caller. Like when Momono was the caller for Elevate, they did really, really well, right? He's not a bad caller. But like, I think that they had issues between them at this time where they were trying to overcall each other and this kind of shit. And that kind of friction, man, it needs to stay out of fights. It needs to stay out of fights, right? So anyway, Momono is not talking anymore, and suddenly it goes smoother. Now Tamashi notices the enemy's flanking, and so he's gonna pull away from it. He pulls away just in time, but this was a risky spot for sure.
East here, uphill, get to the choke, east here, northeast, keep fighting, northeast to the choke, northeast now. I need cleanse.
So you see, they're trying to catch them again, right? This is why I would have gone southeast here. I don't like walking an entire large ass Zerg through a tiny choke like this. I don't. But every caller's different, you know. But yeah, I mean, when you have people on your ass, they're gonna try to catch you here. Just like it, and again, it's the same exact play that we saw earlier on that hill, right? Where Blue Army wanted to catch the back of Elevate going up that hill, right? This is a lesson for literally every player in the game. Okay. When the caller tells you to walk northeast, you don't turn around and drop a Q. You don't turn around and drop a W. You don't hesitate and walk back and forth like an idiot. You walk northeast and you do it right away. And the reason for it is because any little hesitation, any little Q, any little W, any little whatever, when time is of the essence, it's gonna mean the difference between you being the guy that gets through. Oh, that's a highlighter. You being the guy that gets through, or you being the guy that gets caught, right? This is very important, and especially in these higher level fights, man, you gotta be fast.
Cleanse here, locust here. I need to cleanse, northeast here, get to the choke here. We go so fast deep in 5, 4, 3, actually no, go east, I lied, go east, down the hill. Come south now.
That would have been a really bad call. Engaging back through that tiny ass long choke, that would have been a terrible call. But that's also a sign of a good caller, right? When a caller goes and tries to make an engage or something, and then they're like, oh, never mind. Like, cancel that, right? That's because they're actively thinking in the fight, right? That is actually a trait of good callers. Bad callers, they tend to just full send it every single time with whatever their call was, right? Good callers are able to they're able to change tactics. Remember, we talked about that last week, right? Adaptability, right? So right here, he's adapting. That's a good trait. That shows that he's a good caller.
Yo, King Egbert is a mammoth.
Go southwest. Deep southwest, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep southwest here. Deep southwest in the fucking hill. On the hill. Deep southwest. I need cleanses here in the front, man. I need the rest of locust here. Southwest on the hills.
So this was not a bad engage. They just kind of had a bad angle, but the engage wasn't necessarily to kill anybody or anything like that. It was actually to gain position. By engaging this way, they actually force the enemy to move that way, right? And it buys them time to cut southeast and gain angle. Okay, this engage was not about getting kills. This engage was about gaining position, and he did this very well.
Southwest on the hill, or on the road, either or. Hit both. All right, police now. Pull east now. Pull east now. Down the hill. Pull southeast down the hill. Pull southeast down the hill. Pull southeast down the fucking down the road. Keep going. Southeast. Southeast here. All right, we stabilize. Hit the tanks inside of us. Stop running. Hold here. Hold now. Hold. Hold here. Hold. We go northwest. Walk northwest. 5, 4.
So here he's just trying to stabilize the Zerg, right? Now I do want to comment on this, right? You see how much fighting there is going on the northeast flank. The caller's like down there somewhere, southwest, right? You see how much fighting there is on this flank, right? All of this fighting on the flank is extremely important, because if the enemy is able to take over this flank, then the enemy can actually outflank the main Zerg, which is like down here somewhere. Okay, this is very, very important. These kind of like positional fights on the sides are always important. This is also why you need shit like like a siege bow has a Q, the auto fire, right? It does damage over time, like a little bit of damage over time. You need shit like, I don't know what I guess a clarinet, you know, but you see this halberd, very, very, very important, right? For this kind of shit, right? These are the weapons that we just don't see too much of nowadays. We just don't, right? But what I'm telling you is that this is exactly why it's important to have them, which is what I'm telling you is when I tell you guys about how to defeat the meta that is today, it's by adding these components back into your Zerg and having them play the flanks and win the angles, put the enemy into bad positions doing this.
3, 2, 1, deep west here, deep west here, deep west here, deep west here, catch you can, deep west here, deep west here, deep west here. Just catch you can. We're gonna spend time stabilizing here. Pull east now, 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 pull east now. We're just stabilizing, come east now. We need to stabilize. Pull east. North of the road here. North of the road here. East. Regroup on ping.
Ridge control dismounting
We need
northeast
chokes.
right now.
Pull southeast. Rage controls northeast now. Pull southeast.
So here, now he sees something, right? So far, like I let it play for about a minute straight. The reason for it is the last minute has been all kind of stabilizing and positional, right? Even the engage west, he said engage west, and then he said we're just stabilizing here, right? He's not actually committing anywhere, is my point, right? Right now, his strategy is just to delay until something else happens, right? Which sometimes that is the right strategy to do, right? Like right now, there's no reason for him to keep forcing fights because he can just wait and see what the enemy's gonna do. So at this point, now he finds out the enemy played their hand. The enemy was trying to flank them this entire time. This is why the enemy on the west was playing so passive. Tamashi noticed that the enemy on the west over here was playing passive, right? It's like, why are you playing passive? Well, it must be because something else is being planned. So he actually did the right thing here by waiting around, right? And then waiting to see what PoE was gonna do, right? It's kind of like playing chess, right? It's like, it's your turn, it's my turn, it's your turn, it's my turn, right? But then it's like, it's your turn, and then you're not taking your turn. And you could totally take your turn, but you're not taking your turn. And I'm sitting there wondering, why are you not taking your turn? And then he goes and says, oh, you know what? I don't want a turn. You can have another turn, right? You're gonna sit there and wonder, why the hell is a chess player telling me I can have 2 turns in a row, right? It's crazy, right? But when we think about it this way, this is exactly what's happening. Is the CIR, the PoE group over there on the west, they were basically saying, oh, hey, go ahead, Tamashi, you can have another turn. And Tamashi's like, nah, fuck that, that's a bait, right? He was right. Now he sees the play coming, rage control's coming, and now he has his entire Zerg. Granted, they're a little split, but it's okay. He has his entire Zerg over here, and he's gonna crush the shit out of this little flank. Because remember, his goal is to destroy one side at a time, because he has the bigger connected force.
I need locust here. Locust here north. Pull south. We go northeast in 5, 4.
See how small their group is?
3, 2.
They should have just got out, to be honest. Like, they should have hit and just gone northeast.
Went deep northeast to the rage control. Deep northeast to the rage control. Send them back to the fucking city, boys. Deep northeast to the rage control. Kill the rest of rage control. Run them over. Run them over north. North. Come north here.
Yo, Ballista, look on the west. Cynic's very low on his mammoth. Cynic's
Come
mammoth.
northwest. Walk into rage control. Keep walking into them. Unping. Keep walking
King
into rage
Egbert,
control.
please.
Get to the choke.
Yeah.
See how they're telling him, oh, the enemy's chasing behind us. This enemy's doing this. Like, you can actually see the name tags down here, right? CIR and Sun name tags. They're down there. They're chasing after you. They're gonna try to kill you or whatever. He doesn't care. He's just going for that one flank, right? This is actually the right call. I don't know about going through that choke because it's a tight choke and you don't know what's on the other side, right? But again, remember, you want to push out through one side at all times.
Yeah,
Get to the choke.
Tanks hold the chokes. Tanks hold the chokes.
Yeah, Tanks ready to hold the choke here. Come northwest.
CR straight south, they're gonna engage soon.
Keep coming north.
So he decides to send it. He decides, fuck it, we're gonna commit, right? This is a risky play, but only because he doesn't know what's on the other side. But remember, like I said, look at the mini map, right? Look at the blob. If he's close to the north of the blob, close to the outside of the blob, that probably means there's not a lot of people between him and the edge of that blob, right? So it's risky. This is why scouts are important. But he decides to commit to it, and it works out for him.
Keep coming northwest. Go northwest. Get to the choke. Oh, yeah, locust in the back. Come northwest. Keep kiting northwest. Keep kiting. Come northwest here.
I see Eric back
Yo,
up.
come southwest of the hill. Southwest over the hill. Over here. On ping. Southwest here. Southwest. Trust me. Southwest over the hill. Over the hill. We come south now. We go deep south. Keep coming south. Keep coming. Deep southeast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep southeast here. Deep southeast on the fucking road.
So I don't know if you guys, I'm gonna kind of just draw it out for you guys, because I know a lot of times it's very easy to just follow what the caller is telling you and just do what the caller is telling you, and then you're not thinking about what's actually happening. Okay, so forget what's on the background. Okay, I'm gonna draw it out for you guys. So rage control was up here, right? There was a choke like that, right? And then the choke was like kind of like that. Okay, and elevate was right here, and then the other PoE was over here. All right, they pushed through here, right? With these guys, the PoE guys chasing them. Okay, rage control came over here. I mean, half of them were wiped, right? And then what happened is they turned west and around. So now the new picture is kind of like that, right? And then the new picture is PoE chasing the back line of Elevate, because Elevate's trickled around, right? While the big chunk of Elevate, the main Zerg of Elevate, is about to flank from behind, right? So it's a complete and total 180 reversal on them. Not only that, the guys that did live from rage control went northeast over here, right? So you are now completely on the backside of PoE. Not only are you on the backside of PoE, but they're focused northeast. They're not even looking at you southwest, right? This is a very, very good play, but this is only a good play that can work if your Zerg moves quickly. Okay, now PoE does turn around and see it, because PoE has a lot of scouts, right? So they do see it and they turn around, right? But either way, the engage is already coming, right? So they're kind of split. They have some people ready, and then the rest of the people are far to the east, and they're not ready for it.
On the fucking road, baby. On the fucking road. They all die here. Nice job. All CR's dead. Here. Come southwest here. Come southwest here. Nice job. Keep going west. Go west. Walk into them. Walk into them. Keep coming west, boys.
I need help.
So he said all CIR is dead here. They're not, right? I'm going to let you guys know that right now. They're not. All CIR is not dead at this point. He got excited. Okay, but he did kill a lot of their best players. And the reason is because, remember I said, the majority of them weren't paying attention. They were kind of following east or whatever, right? And so the ones that did pay attention quickly are usually the best players. And that's who he caught, and that's who he killed. So essentially, CIR is not dead. They're not all wiped, but they did lose a lot of their strength, a lot of their power.
Okay, yeah, keep going west. Get up the hill. West on ping. Get up the hill west. I need tank stopping the
Yo, Jotita, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
east here.
I'm gonna keep it going because I don't like getting sidetracked, but I do appreciate it, man.
Come west up the hill. Come west. I don't have cooldowns on mono. Come west up the hill. Keep coming west.
Tamashi, look east on BA.
We walk east now.
Oh, there's Mamono again. He's back. I don't know if he was here the whole time. But he just gave him information. He's saying blue armies to the east, right? So we'll see where he goes with that. Now, I do want you guys to notice PoE's to our west here, right? PoE's to the west. They're also a little bit to the northwest. But you know that PoE is hurting right now. They just took big hits, right? So you know they're kind of hurting. You know they're not going to be a strong force at this point.
Now. Walk east, man. Walk east. Walk east. Deep east in 5.
Be careful.
Deep east. Keep going. 5. It's native, man. It's native.
No, northeast.
Northeast. 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep northeast on BA. Deep east on BA. Catch them on the road. They have no sprints. Deep of east on the road. They have no sprints here. Deep of east on BA. On BA. They just dragged a huge Camlin. To them here. Easter. Keep pressing them. Walk east into BA. There's a huge group here.
So we don't really get to see, but there's like a couple bodies here, a couple bodies there, right? So I assume that they are wiping them. I can see other people dying. And Blue Army's kind of in shambles at this point. They're just sprinting east. They're trying to get out.
Walk east to the BA. Keep coming here. I'm ping. Southeast.
You're too far back.
Southeast here. If you're too far back, just mount, bro. Southeast in the fucking.
So there's the majority of Blue Army on the far east there.
Road, man. Keep coming. Keep coming east here. Nice job. Regroup on ping. Come north now. Let allies move over. Regroup on ping. We look west.
So now we have Rage Control coming in from the north. Listen, I'll tell you guys the truth, man. Rage Control is so weird. In this fight, Rage Control is so fucking weird because they always come in at a fucking great time for a nice angle, a nice fucking, cut and shit. but then they don't do much, and then they just kind of run away. Like, it's so weird. They're playing like a big ass bomb squad or something. It's like a 40-man bomb squad.
Look west, look west, look west. Look west. Actually, no, pull east, please. Sierra's engaging. Pull east, please. I need locust and cleanser. I need cleanser. We're gonna die. I need cleanser. Nice job. Good heal skills. Go west now. 5, 4.
Now, I want you guys to notice when he pushed CIR after pushing Rage Control was out of the fight for a little bit. Remember? When he pushed Blue Army just now, Rage Control still wasn't in the fight, but CIR had gotten pushed on the west, and so CIR was kind of out of the fight, right? So you see how literally the entire fight, the Blue Army and PoE coalition could not have their entire full force bearing down on the enemy at any point in time. And this because Elevate keeps moving. Tamashi keeps the Zerg moving. He keeps the Zerg active. He doesn't let the enemy just wrap him around for free. He doesn't stop and just like, I'm going to hold this choke, right? For a long ass time. Like so many callers nowadays do, right? He doesn't do that because that would be real stupid, right? Because then he's going to get wrapped. He's going to get killed. Okay. So it's very important to notice those things are actually a big deal.
3, 2, 1, west on the fucking road. West on the fucking sea road. Yeah, I want Sierra full fucking dead, man. I want Sierra full fucking dead here. West here. There's a huge clump here. West.
Now here, Elevate's actually in trouble right here. Okay. Why? Because they have a bunch of group over here on the northeast cut off by this ridge, and they have the rest of their group far southwest here. They're actually kind of in a bad spot here. But also remember how I told you guys about the positioning of Blue Army at the beginning of the fight, at the beginning of the video, where they were positioned in an arc. Well, they are positioned in an arc as well, right? And all of the enemies in one circle. So you see what's happening is that they're actually engaging from all sides, right? Again, it's not about getting kills. It's about getting damage on this so that they have to back off. They're forced to back off. Because if they back off, they allow you to go and focus another side.
Wester, they have no cleanses here. Wester, hit this clump. There's CC for like 5 years, man. Finish this shit. Finish this clump, man. Nice job. Keep going west here. Keep going west here. Oh, I'm running out of oxygen, man. Fuck, keep going west. Keep going west. Keep going west, man. Keep going west. Kill Syndic here. Northwest here. Fuck, dude. Keep going west, man. Keep going west here.
Anyway, the fight's over at this point. All right. After that wipe, so Blue Army got wiped, and then Blue Army just didn't come back, or they couldn't come back in fast enough, right? Rage Control, again, I don't know. Like, they came in from the north and then they just disappeared, like they kept doing the entire fight. I don't understand. It's really odd. Sun and CIR kept fighting, but now at this point, after this clump here, CIR basically they just couldn't keep up, right? They just couldn't keep going. All right, they took too many hits and they had to back out. So this is the end of the fight. I mean, I know there's like 2 more minutes, but it's just like people running around, looting, doing all kinds of shit, chasing random people one by one. But the fight's over, right? Does anybody have any questions about anything that I explained? Or anything about like calling in general, or any specific things about it? I wanted to keep it as broad as possible today so that you guys can see kind of perspectives from each individual Zerg in these fights, right? To see what they're kind of doing, what they're kind of thinking. But having a focus on Tamashi and Elevate and how they moved around, you know, weaving between all these different flanks. I joined late, so I missed a lot. It's all good, man. It's all right. Yeah, I'll post the video, but it's also going to be on Twitch right after it's done, so you can watch it there. But I'll post it on YouTube afterwards as well. All right, so like I promised earlier, okay, we're going to watch this again. This time we're going to watch it a lot faster, okay? We're not actually going to go through every little detail. But this time, what we're going to do is we're going to watch the video and only pay attention, literally only, like just forget about the caller, okay? You got to listen to the calls just so you know what's happening, right? But forget about the caller. I want you guys to focus on the healer. This guy, Swift Shooter, man, one of the best fucking healers in a fight like this that I've seen, man. Fucking incredible, right? The amount of plays, amazingly good plays he does here is insane, all right? So, let's just play it off.
Yeah, she's trying to come up.
All right, come northwest here. Walk northwest now. Walk northwest now. Stop the northwest here. Go deep northwest in 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep northwest to the BA. Over the wall.
Boom. First good play. Man, like this guy's crazy, man. So you're walking north, right? And then you're going to engage over there. As soon as he sees the clump, and where he needs to engage. This motherfucker pops a sprint east so that he has an angle to heal his buddies over here and to heal down the hill from this side if he has to, right? See how most people, and you see, look, healer, right? Where I saw another one somewhere right here. Healer, right? These guys are all walking over here, just like, you know, turned off their brain and just, you know, following the call, you know, like a zombie. This motherfucker's like, no, I understand what's happening. Instantly, the moment he sees it, he's like, boom, I'm gonna take a better angle. Watch this. I'm gonna play it again.
Walk northwest now. Walk northwest now. Walk northwest
Holding
now.
them.
Stop the northwest here. Go deep northwest in 5. 5, 4, 3,
He saw it.
2, 1. Deep northwest to the BA. Over the wall. Over the wall. Over the wall. Over the wall. This shit's huge. This shit's huge. This shit's huge.
He stops his channel, throws a W so that he has it on the front so that it doesn't get fucked by the people over here, right?
On the fucking hill here. On the hill.
He comes up to the fucking wall.
Kill them here. Kill them. I need damage. I need damage. Yo, be careful for the...
Why did he come up to the wall and then would just walk back? Because he wanted to see if he was going to need to drop a Q down there.
Counter. Careful for the counter. My tank's stopping them here. My tank's going deep. Pop your potions here. Pop your potions.
Yeah.
They're coming up east.
Good heals. Walk down northwest. Walk down the hill.
He didn't really need to, so he pulls back and he starts healing the guys in here. Immediately. He ain't waiting. He's like, oh, this guy's like almost full. I'm just going to live with me. No. He's not full. That means I got to heal him.
Trust me. Walk down the hill.
Walk in the BA,
Walk down the hill. Walk in the BA.
Now, notice his set, right? So many callers nowadays are running some stupid ass shit, man. Or sorry, not callers. Some callers are running stupid shit too. But no, I'm talking about healers. So many fucking healers nowadays are running stupid ass shit, man. Look at this guy, right? Single target Q, right? Now, I don't, at that time, I don't think the AoE Q existed. But AoE Q is not, like, it's not good. It's not good. It's good to have it like maybe one holy per party. That's it, okay? Why is this one better? Because this one ensures that you get to look at a specific person and heal him. Like right now, he has this guy selected, right? So he wants to drop a Q on him, right? What if he drops an AoE Q right here? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. Guess what? The RNG of this game, I don't think it's RNG, man. I think the game just purposely tries to not heal people. Because I'll tell you, man, you have RNG here, and then suddenly he's gonna be the only one that doesn't get that heal. Right? And it's like, it's terrible because now you got to heal him again. You got to try to heal him again, right? Single target Q is good. The orb is perfect. The fallen E is perfect. Cleric robe, right? Is good. I know some healers are trying to start running like Robe of Purity or some other shit. Man, Cleric robe is great. Then he has a cleanse on his helmet, right? And then he has the Scholar Sandal. Scholar Sandal is important for the mana, but also for the mobility. Okay? So pay attention to his kit and see how he uses his kit.
Walk in the BA.
So right here, he's channeling his E.
Walk in the BA, boys.
He puts it right in the center, right there, right in the center. Now, I think he should have put it a little farther down, but it's not bad. I mean, it's on the choke. He's doing his job.
The BA. Heal down the hill. Get these heals. Go deep west in 5.
He got stunned, and what does he do? Instantly cleanses, right? Stun instantly cleanses. That cleanse didn't just cleanse him, it cleansed everybody else around him, right? Because if you look around, there's no locust right now. There's a locust down here, but there's no locust over here, right? So that stun would have stunned everybody. But instead, he cleansed all the people around him, right? This is why these kits are so important, and people are changing them because they think that they know better. But this is tried and true for many years for a reason, okay? So now he's coming down.
North.
3, 2, 1.
He gets stuck again. Did you see that? I'm gonna roll it back. He gets stuck again. And then he just pops his sprint. Watch.
Yeah, heal down the hill. Get these heals. Go deep west in 5.
So here, he's about to get his speed up, his sprint, and he's gonna get rooted, and he's gonna or stun, whatever it is. I don't know. I think it's a root. And then he just cleanses out of it.
North.
There it is. And now instantly cleanse.
3, 2, 1. Deep west in the BA. Walk.
Cancels it, turns around instantly, drops a fucking orb back into the guys inside of over there. And he already has this guy clicked over here on the west. He's gonna try to drop Qs on him.
West in the BA. Walk west in the BA here, boys.
Oh no, the guy went north. Oh well.
We're better than them.
Oh, he selected Momono. He's trying to heal the backup caller.
boys. We are better than them. Walk into BA West here. We break through this fucking choke. We break through this fucking choke. Come
Tanks
west
are
here.
holding
Walk
east.
into them.
Tanks are
Alright,
holding
tanks
east.
hold
Yeah,
east.
down the hill.
Tanks hold east now. Turn east. Turn east. Turn east. Turn east. Turn east. Hold here. Hold here. Hold here.
Yeah, they're southwest.
Hold them in the
Yeah,
choke.
southwest of us.
Hold them in the choke.
They're
Hold them in the
southwest
choke
of
here. Hold them in the choke east here.
Yeah,
Hold them in the choke east
we're getting against
here. Hold them in the choke east here. Come north. Come north. Come north. Come
Just
north.
trust me.
That's COE.
See how he's going through a bunch of shit and yet he's still stopping to drop Qs on everybody? Like this man doesn't skip a beat, man.
I can't hit south one. They're coming from east. Pull north. Pull north. Pull north.
Look, he sees these guys are low and he knows they're gonna run through here, right? This is such high level healer play, man. When people ask me like, oh, like what's a good example of a good healer play? This fucking right here, this shit right here, right? His Zerg, he knows that he's split. His Zerg is down here and up here, right? He knows these guys are getting low and he knows they're gonna run through here. So he drops that heal right in front of them so they can walk into it. That way they don't have to stop to catch the heal.
North. Pull north. 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 We go deep south in 5.
Now they end up not getting it, but that's their own fault. They went back and forth, right? That's their own fault. You can only do so much as a healer, but that was perfect. That was beautifully done, but for him.
We go deep south in 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep south. Deep south here. Deep south here. Deep south in the Square Tail. Walk over Square Tail. Walk over Square Tail south here. South, 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 south. Deep south.
Look at that, just relentless healing, and then pops his sprint, gets some more mana, right? And then pops his sprint all the way back up.
Deep south in the Square Tail. Deep south in the Square Tail. Walk through them. Walk.
Stops it short, right? So he's using the S button or he's using the F button to stop it again, right? So he stops it short and instantly goes and drops Qs and starts healing people again.
Through Square Tail south here. Walk through Square Tail south here. Let's come southwest up the hill. No, stop going to Square Tail. Come west up the hill now. Southwest up the hill. Southwest up the hill. Southwest up the hill. Or just go around. Southwest up the hill or just go around. Sun's here too, man. Fuck, man.
Rage control.
Come southwest. Come southwest here. Get through the chokes. Get through the chokes. Just get through sun. Get through sun. Get through sun. Come west here. Regroup on the west side of the fuck.
Now, I want you guys to notice he went northeast here because there were some of his D tanks that were low. And then he came down southwest over here. But he still remembers where his Zerg is. Like, his Zerg is not even on his screen, right? And there's so many of you. I hate this shit, man. I hate this shit so much. When people go and say, like, oh, well, I don't know where the collar, I lost the collar's crown, so suddenly I don't know where my Zerg is. Like, bro, are you serious right now? You saw him go west, right? And you went east, and then you go around, they're gonna be to your northwest, right? So many of you guys go and say, oh, well, I got lost, or, oh, well, you know, whatever. It's like, no, man, learn to play, understanding the ZvZ, understanding the positioning of everybody. This is a fucking healer, and he has better positioning than a lot of our, like, top fucking ZvZers in the game right now, right? And he's a fucking healer, right? So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, it's like, you guys gotta take responsibility here. He is playing so fucking good. He's dropping a Fallen on the choke because he knows he's gonna walk through it just in case he needs it because he sees reds down here, and he also sees some of his buddies over here that need a heal.
Fucking hill here. Walk in the sun. Walk in the sun. Pop.
Now the crown is all the way to his southwest corner now at this point, right? But most of his Zerg is still rotating.
Abilities. Walk in the sun. Qs and Ws. Qs and Ws. Walk in the sun. South.
Look at that. Boom. He cleanses, right? He sees people getting stopped. He cleanses. He starts taking damage. He pops his cleric robe.
West here. Walk in the sun. Southwest here. Pop your Qs and Ws. Catch sun here. Walk in the sun. Walk in the sun.
Now boots and stops, turns around, heals that fucking, what is it, like a locust, something? I don't know what the fuck it is. But it's like he heals the guys that are still working the fucking fight, man. Right? This man don't skip a fucking beat.
Nice shot. Go southwest here. Keep going. Keep going. Help our fragger back.
Look at this guy. 153 HP, bro. 53 HP. He clicks him and heals him.
Turn. Help.
Boom. He just saved them. I tell you, you guys running fucking AoE Q, y'all drop a fucking Q right here, the guy walks out of it, and then you're like, well, he walked out of it, it's his fault. Right? And fucking healers, man. You guys are so lazy nowadays. Because you have the AoE Q and you think it's good. It's not good. Because I promise you, you drop a fucking Q on him right now, he's gonna walk out of it. Because it's almost impossible to anticipate where you're gonna drop a fucking Q. Right? So it's a guessing game. Don't guess. Make sure you heal your buddies. Do your job.
Help our backline. We have ease up now. Look east. We turn north. Actually, north. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep north on the fucking bend. Deep north of the bend to CIR. There's a huge scope here around the bend. North of the CIR.
Look, at all times, his fucking shit is cycling, man. At all times, his shit is cycling.
Alright, nice shot.
Look, he goes up here, right? He popped the cleanse.
Stabilize. Come west.
And he's gonna drop a fucking fallen E here. He gets interrupted. I mean, His positioning here could have been better. He should have been like southeast a little bit, but it's okay. It's not terrible, right? He got interrupted. I mean, that shit happens. It's okay. It happens, right? But it's the thought that counts. He tried to drop a fucking fallen E here, which would have been really good.
West. Pull west. Fuck, man. Pull west. Come west here.
He sees this guy sprinting from the east, right? And then a soul sight goes. This motherfucker don't wait. He pops a sprint directly west. He's like, nah, fam, not me. Not today. Not today, right? This is why he's so good at this, man. Because he's seeing everything and he's reacting to everything. He is not sitting here fucking waiting for somebody to tell him what to do.
Come west here. West here, get around this rock.
And now the siege bow is catching all these people, but he's not going to get caught in it.
Get around the rock. VA overextended the engage. Get around the rock here, west. Get around the rock here, west.
He sees these guys get low, instantly drops an orb. He's dropping Qs northwest, drops an orb southeast. See how his vision is literally everywhere. He's literally looking at the entire fight. He's not just looking at one or two guys. He's not doing what a lot of you fucking lazy healers do nowadays, which is like, oh, well, I'm going to heal my party and that's all I'm responsible for because, you know that fucking meme with the dogs? That dog meme where it's like that buff ass fucking dog, right? And then that little, like, the little dog that's like squirreling and shit, you know? That's how I see fucking healers nowadays, man. Right? Because it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna click my people on my party and I'm gonna just heal them and not worry about everything else that's going around me. Get the fuck out of here. That's so lazy. That is so lazy for a healer. You want to be a better healer, play like this guy. He's looking northwest, he's looking southeast, he's looking southwest, he's looking everywhere. He doesn't make excuses, he's moving around properly. He's managing his mana while cycling his cooldowns perfectly. And he has a great kit. It doesn't get better than this. It really doesn't get better than this, right? But so many healers nowadays, and not just healers, DPS, tanks, even callers, okay? There's so many players nowadays that are so complacent. That's what it is you're complacent. You allow yourself to play subpar. And then other people tell you, oh, you play so good. No, you don't. Because you can play like this guy, right? And it's like, oh, well, I'm the best in the game right now. I don't care because everybody in the game right now plays like shit. Be the best in the game ever. Then we'll talk, right? Because this motherfucker's up there. At least in this fight. I don't know about him in other fights. I haven't seen him in other fights. But in this fight, my God, he's amazing, right? Stop trying to just fill in the blanks whenever someone tells you, oh, do your job and do this and do that and that's it. No, be better. Don't wait for people to tell you what to do. Learn to do it yourself.
I don't have cooldowns. Go southwest around the rock. Go southwest around the rock. Southwest. We engage hard south in 8 seconds here. Stabilize in the choke. Don't clump in the choke. You ready with the locust? All right, come south. Feed through the choke here. Come south.
Look east. Look straight east.
See that? He healed that guy. He's out of party. That permafrost. I'm gonna roll it back.
Seconds here. Stabilize in the choke. Don't clump in the choke.
This permafrost right here. Watch him.
You ready with the locust? All right, come south. Feed through the choke here. Come south.
Look east. Look straight east.
He's clicked on it, right? Boom. See, like, he's at a party. He's paying attention to the fight. He's not looking at his fucking party. I mean, obviously he's looking at his party because every once in a while he does click on people from his party and heals them, which is good. But he's also looking at the fight.
Straight east now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep east, baby. Deep east up the hill. Good shit, Mono.
He drops a heal right on top of the choke because he knows there's going to be possibly a counter engage. And if there isn't, then you know what? At least it's going to cleanse people, right? Because the Fallen E also cleanses people.
Deep east. Kill the rest of the squad itself.
He sees the enemy flank. You see how he walked? I want you to pay attention to his movement for a couple seconds. Pay attention to his character.
Deep east.
He's walking northeast. Watch his character.
Deep east up the hill.
He's dropped his Fallen.
Deep east.
He walked northeast. Look, his character's looking northeast. That means he's looking northeast, right? Because usually we click where our eyes are looking, right? So he's clicking northeast because he's looking northeast. He sees all these reds up here. He's like, oh shit, I don't want to go up there, right? So what does he do? Instantly, boom. Let's go back into the fucking choke. Let's go through that choke. Because I know we're not going to go northeast. And I don't want to go northeast. He makes this decision himself. He doesn't wait for Tamashi to tell him what to do. He does it himself.
Kill the rest of the squad itself. Eastern. Come southeast now. Feed to the choke southeast.
He pops his sprint so he can run through it. Because remember, his fucking Scholar Sandals, stuns, roots, and slows don't work on him.
Feed to the choke southeast.
He pops his Cleric Robe just in case because He thinks that possibly he's going to get counter engaged. This is a preemptive cleric robe. He doesn't actually need it, but it's good to use it when you think you might need it.
Feed to the choke, feed to the choke. Southeastern, keep coming,
BA stop, plus you.
Get to the choke. Okay.
And back at it with the Qs. Look at the cycling, man. Again, everything, all the time.
Come east. Don't go southwest. Go east. Go directly east. Go directly east. Send locust in the choke here. Keep coming east, baby. Keep coming east. Get to the choke, man. Get to the choke on ping. Nice shot.
Yo, you
Go
can
northeast,
full turn right where we just engaged.
Go northeast now. Alright, we turn southeast. Actually, go west, sorry. Go west. West back up the hill. West back up the hill. Northwest. Northwest up the hill. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep northwest down the fucking choke.
In the second choke.
Look at that. Oh, man, this guy's fucking amazing. Look, he goes up, instantly takes an angle. Right? Instantly takes an angle. He doesn't go up here. He goes directly to the side so he can heal from an angle. Amazing. He drops a heal, falling all the way down the choke because he knows his guys are down there. His tanks. He's walking up to make sure he gets in front of everybody else so that the orb doesn't get stopped by them.
Police.
As soon as he gets in front of them, he drops that heal, the orb. It ends up actually still popping there, but you see what he was trying to do, right? That's good play. It's not about what he actually accomplished. It's about what he's trying to accomplish, right? You're not going to get everything perfect in every fight, but he's trying to make sure he does it.
Police. We're getting sandwich, man. Pull northeast. Get in the choke on ping. Get up the hill.
He walks through a choke. He's going to walk through a choke. Instantly pops his fucking resistance. Instantly.
Get up the hill.
Straight north. Heal each other.
Hold it. Straight north. Hold on ping. We got a couple people left.
Yo, we should just full run.
He's still healing people up here.
Come west now.
South now.
Come west. No, go west. We go west. West in CIR. Straight northwest in CIR. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Northwest in CIR, baby. Push down this choke. Northwest in CIR over the wall.
Look at that. Tamashi's down there, right? The caller. He's saying engage him this way. He takes this fucking angle. He says, I don't need to go down there to heal you. He says, instead, I'm going to just take this angle here and heal over the wall. Right? He's perfectly safe here. Nobody's going to kill him here. It's these angles. And again, I keep saying it, right? It's the angles that he takes that really sets him apart, right? But it's also his cycling of the cooldowns.
Northwest in CIR here. Northwest. I need damage. Where's my damage? Pull southeast now. I'll get
He was going to pop a sprint through. He noticed they were going to back up, so he just backs up instead, drops an orb.
back in the choke.
Again, he's reacting. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. He's reacting to what he's seeing in the fight. He's not just following calls blindly. He's reacting to what he's seeing in the fight.
Choke now. Get back in the choke here. Pull southeast. Get out of the choke. Get out of this hill. Get off the hill. Come southeast. Get off the hill. Go east in the hind hill. Help our back.
He walks through. He didn't even get stunned, but he drops a cleanse anyway on the choke. Why? Because he's trying to cleanse everybody. He's trying to make sure that anybody who gets stunned, rooted, or slowed or anything, he can cleanse them. Right? He just does this shit automatically. It's because he does it every time. When you do something every single time, you don't even think about it.
Help our backline here. We're getting.
We west.
Go easter.
Fallen heal right there, right where the clump was. It was a little late in this time. He should have done it like a second ago, but I guess he wasn't looking. He was looking west. But I mean, it's well positioned.
Easter, keep going. Keep going east. We go north. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep north to the race control. They're all caught here. Deep north to the race control. North. North here. Hit this clump, man. Nice shot. Keep.
He was out of position. He pops a sprint, right? There's one thing that a lot of people don't do. They get out of position and they don't pop sprints. It's like, dude, use your sprint. That's what you have it for, right? Especially healers.
Come northeast now. Actually, come east. Come back east. Come east. East here. Up the hill. Get to the choke. Eastern, northeast. Keep heading. Northeast to the choke. Northeast now. I need cleanse. Cleanse here. Locust here.
He gets through, instantly tries to drop a fallen E, but this time he was stopped by the eagle, right? But again, it's the thought that counts, right? He went through, he found himself safe, he decided to heal the back.
Locust, I need to cleanse. Northeaster, get to the choke. Get to the choke here. We go southwest deep in 5, 4, 3. Actually, no. Go east.
Look at him. He's going west over here. He's trying to look for an angle. He didn't find a good angle, but he was trying to look for an angle, right?
I lied. Go east. Down the hill. Come south now. Come south.
Yo,
come
King
south.
Egbert, there's
We go
a
west, go
mammoth
southwest, go
northeast.
southwest. Deep southwest, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deep southwest. Deep southwest here. Deep southwest on the fucking hill. Deep southwest on the hill, on the hill, on the hill. Deep southwest, southwest. I need cleanses here in the front, man. I need the rest of Locust here.
He pops his cleric robe because he took a little bit of damage and he doesn't know if the full engage is coming at him. Right? Again, preemptive. Right? Don't wait around. Don't be like, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it. Use it. You have it. Use it.
Southwest on the hill. Southwest on the hill. Or on the road. Either or. Hit both. Hit both. All right, police now. Police now. Police now. Police now.
There goes the Eagle shit again. Yeah, I know, Latorian. That's what Latorian's saying. Yeah, Eagle's amazing, man. Eagle's very powerful.
Pull east now. Pull east now. Down the hill. Pull southeast down the hill. Pull southeast down the hill. Pull southeast down the fucking down the road. Down the road. Down the road. Down the road. Keep going. Southeast. Southeast. Southeast.
Remember the brawl that we were talking about on the northeast side here, like the back and forth, the fighting on the flanks. I mean, he heals all this shit.
Southeast here. Southeast. Southeast.
He gets clumped.
Here. Are we stabilized? We stabilized. Stabilized.
He's dropping an orb right away.
Stabilized. Hit the tanks inside of us. Stop running. Stop running.
Gets out of the way, right?
Hold here. Hold now. Hold. Hold here. Hold.
Heals himself.
We go northwest. Go northwest here. Go northwest. Walk northwest. Walk northwest. 5, 4.
And he drops his Fallen over here. Now, I think this Fallen was a little unnecessary. It was unnecessary. I think that he kind of panicked a little bit. That's why he went east, right? And he should have just stopped and dropped the Fallen west. But instead, he started looking around and he just decided to throw it anyway. This was unnecessary.
3, 2, 1. Deep west. Deep west here. Deep west here. Deep west here. Deep west here. Catch you can. Deep west here. Deep west here. Deep west here. Just catch you can. Catch you can. We're just spending time stabilizing here. Pull east now. 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 We're just stabilizing. We're just stabilizing. Come east now. We need to stabilize. Pull east. North of the road here. North of the road here. East. Regroup on ping. Regroup on ping.
Ridge
Pull east,
control
man. Pull east.
dismounting
We need
northeast
chokes.
right
We
now.
need chokes. Pull southeast. Race controls northeast now. Pull southeast. Pull southeast. I need locust here. I need locust here.
Look, he got stunned.
Locust to north. Pull.
Instant cleanse, right? The locust gets put in the wrong place. It gets put over here on the east, right? If you see, look at this marker. There's one little cleanse, which actually that's the way it looked before. It was the Fort Sterling Cape, right? So that's somebody's Fort Sterling Cape. But the only cleanse in this entire clump is his cleanse.
Pull south. Pull south. Pull south. Pull south. Pull south.
Because of that cleanse, he gets out of it. He pops his cleric robe.
Pull south.
Now he's shielded, right? Walks into the enemy because he knows he's shielded. He's okay.
We go northeast in 5.
And he drops heals on himself.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep.
And now drops a Fallen over here west to make sure that whoever needs a heal can walk into it.
Deep to the race control. Deep to the race control. Deep to the race control. To the back to the fucking city, boys. Deep to the race control. Kill the rest of race control. Kill the rest of race control. Run them over.
Now he almost died there. He should have walked into his own Fallen, to be honest.
Run them over north.
West.
Run them over
Tanks-
north.
tanks are looking west. Nobody else.
Come north here. Come north here. Come north here. Come north here.
Yo,
Come north
Ballista
here.
look on the
Come
west.
north here.
Syndic's very low on his mammoth. Syndic's
Come
mammoth
northwest.
is
Walk
1-1.
into race control. Keep walking into them. Unping. Keep walking
King
into race
Egbert,
control.
please.
Get to the choke.
Look at that. Again, cleanse. Boom. Right? Just a ring. Cleanse. We got to move quick. Let's cleanse.
Get to the choke.
Tanks
Get to
hold the
choke
chokes.
here.
Tanks hold the chokes.
TR
Tanks ready to hold the choke here. Tanks ready to hold the choke here. Come northwest. Come
TR
northwest.
is straight south.
Keep
They're gonna engage
walking.
soon.
Keep coming north. Keep coming northwest. Keep coming northwest. Go northwest. Get to the choke. Get to the choke. Oh, yeah, Locust in the back. Locust in the back. Come northwest. You keep cutting northwest.
Fallen in front of people that are moving. These guys are walking south. These guys are walking north. Whoever needs a heal is going to drop it there. Essentially, he doesn't need to do this right now. He can use Qs and Ws with all these guys. But at the same time, he sees the enemies are far away. He knows that they're rotating right now. The entire Zerg is rotating. So he doesn't anticipate needing that Fallen E anytime soon.
Keep cutting northwest. Keep cutting. Come northwest here.
Alright, CR back
Yo,
up.
come southwest to the hill. Southwest over the hill. Over here. Unping.
Yeah, they do have a few wild staffs in here, Latorian. They do. They do have a few.
Unping. Southwest here. Southwest. Trust me. Southwest over the hill. Over the hill. We come south now. We go deep south. Keep coming south. Keep coming. Deep southeast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep southeast here. Deep southeast on the fucking road. On the.
Again, snare charge, boom, cleanse, then he cleanses everybody around him. Right? I can't tell you guys how important it is to run cleanses, man. Right? But so few people run it nowadays.
Fucking road, baby. On the fucking road. They all die here.
Look at that, Scholar Sandals. He would have gotten caught in that if he had anything other than the Scholar Sandals.
They all die here. Nice job. All CRF dead.
Turns around, instantly drops his heal. He doesn't have to because everybody's pretty topped off, but he doesn't know. Maybe there's damage coming, right? So this is a preemptive one. Again, he's thinking ahead of time. He's reacting to what he's seeing. He's not just being like, okay, now I gotta drop my E. Now I gotta drop my Q. No. He's anticipating the enemy's engages. This is actually really good.
All CRF dead here. Come southwest here. Come southwest here. Nice job. Keep going west. Go west. Walk into them west. Walk into them. Keep coming west, boys. Okay, yeah, keep going west. Keep going west. Get up the hill. Get up the hill west around ping. Get up the hill west. West. I need tank stopping the east here. Come west up the hill. Come west up the hill. Come west. I don't have cooldowns.
Look at that. He gets bonked, and then he doesn't even care what CC. He's just like, I'm gonna cleanse. Like he just has it so automatic, man. This is what happens when you just train yourself to play the same shit over and over and over and over for a very long time. Is you just get these reactions, man. Anytime you get CC'd in any way, you just instant cleanse.
Come west up the hill. Come west up the hill. West up the hill. Keep coming west. Keep coming west. Keep coming west.
Tamashi, look east on BA.
We walk east now. We walk east now. We walk east now. Walk east, man. Walk east. 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 Deep east. Deep east in 5.
Be careful.
Deep east. Keep going. Keep going. 5. It's native. It's native, man. It's native.
No, northeast. Northeast.
Northeast.
North of that.
4, 3, 2, 1. Deep northeast on BA. Deep east on BA. Catch them on the road. They have no sprints. Deep east on the road. They have no sprints here. Deep east on BA. On BA. They just dragged a huge Camlin. They just dragged a huge Camlin to them here. Eastern.
Now, I don't know why he used his fallen here. He's too far from the front. He should have just kept walking. But, I mean, again, it's not bad. I mean, he's too far from the front. He might as well use it.
Eastern. Keep pressuring them. Walk east in the BA. Walk east in the BA. There's a huge clump here. Walk east in the BA. East in the BA. Keep coming here. Keep coming here. I'm ping. Southeast.
You're too far back.
Southeast here. If you're too far back, just mount, bro. Southeast on the fucking road, man. Keep coming. Keep coming east here. Nice job. Regroup on ping. Come north now. Let allies move over. Regroup on ping. We look west. Look west.
He sees them coming, instantly walk south, right?
Look west. Actually, no, please.
And then look what he's gonna do. This is like a major fucking play. Like he just walks away, and then look what he does.
CR's engaging. Pull east. I need locust and cleanser. We're gonna die.
So he pops a fallen right on top of the clump, right?
I need cleanser. Nice job. Good heals.
Now that guy got topped off instantly.
West now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. West on the fucking road. West on the fucking sea road. Yeah, I want CR4.
Pops a sprint north, or like, well, sorry, southwest and up the hill, right?
Fucking dead, man. I want CR4.
Walks over, and by the way, the other healer that he saved also is doing the same thing, right?
West.
And now they're both up here with a beautiful view of everything, right? And he can drop fallen or Q and W all the way across the entire line, right? This is beautiful. He went around, he took this angle, right? He's protected because the enemy can't go through the ridge, right? It's like these kinds of plays, man. Find the angles, and this is not just for healers. This is DPS. This is tanks. Tanks, you should know what angles you should stop, right? So this is what I'm telling you guys, man. Like, you guys, healers, you guys need to do better. There's way too much complacency that I see with healers nowadays, right? There's so much complacency where you go and run the AoE Q and you go and say, oh, well, I dropped the Q. It just didn't heal him. You know, that's wrong, man. Your job is to heal individual people, right? Make sure you use single target Q. Not only that, use your shit appropriately, man. Run Scholar Sandals. They're so important for your mana, but for also your movement, man. How many times would this guy get caught in camlands or stuns or roots or whatever it is? How many times would he have gotten caught if it wasn't for his fucking sandals? You know, these things enable better play styles and better positioning and better everything, right? But we get complacent so much with every role. Every role gets so complacent nowadays because fights are not this hard. They're not. Fights are simply not this hard anymore. Okay, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't play as if fights are this hard. You should be playing as every fight is the hardest fight in the world. That's how you get better.
West here. There's a huge clump here. West here. They have no cleanses here. West here, hit this clump. You see it for like 5 years, man. Finish this shit. Finish this clump, man. Nice job. Keep going west here. I'm running out of oxygen, man. Fuck, keep going west. Keep going west.
That's pretty much it. That's the end of the fight. So, anyway, that's it for today. I know it was a little long. We went through the same video twice, right? One time looking at the collar, positioning, the Zerg movements, rotations. The second time we went over the healer and what the healer was doing, right? Okay. There's a lot to learn from this video. If you want to take a look at it, it's Tamashi shot calling elevate like a monster for 10 minutes. Okay. That's the name of the video. If you guys want to watch it, it got uploaded some time ago. It got uploaded like in January last year, 2022, but it was actually from season 13. So it was from farther back of that. Okay. So yeah, if you guys want to watch it, if you're a healer, you want to learn from it. If you're a caller, you want to learn from it. Tamashi is a really good caller. Okay. Tamashi's still in the game, but Tamashi only calls for a bomb squad now. He's not really calling main Zergs anymore. I know that he's been kind of teaching some other people who are like up and coming callers, and he's been helping them learn how to ZvZ or how to call ZvZs. So he's been doing that, but he's also mainly just been doing a bomb squad, calling a bomb squad. He's kind of like a retired caller at this point, I guess, unless he decides to pick it back up. But yeah, a lot of people say that Tamashi was not a good caller. It's not true. It's just not true at all, right? A lot of people say he's not a good caller because they were in the Blue Army PoE coalition, and so they just naturally think, oh well, Tamashi was the enemy, so he must have sucked, right? Or because they lost the war, because Elevate did lose that war, so they say, oh well, Tamashi was bad, right? And that's not true. There's also people that, you know, because Momono and Tamashi had issues, right? And because of that, they you know, they kind of separated, went their own ways, and you know, trash talk, banter, whatever it is, and so because of that, a lot of times, you know, people are like team, quote unquote, team Momono or team Tamashi, right? And so they tend to, like, you know, oversimplify things. The truth is both Momono and Tamashi were both good callers, and in this specific fight, Tamashi did call really, really well, right? For the most part. There were some mistakes. We pointed them out, right? There were some mistakes. We did point them out. But for the most part, having the Zerg that he had, fighting against multiple fronts that were smaller Zergs than his, he did really well, right? The healer here, what's his name? Swift Shooter. I don't know if he plays anymore. I'll tell you the truth, I had never heard of him until I saw this video. Okay? That's how unknown good healers are in this game, because healers just don't get any rep, man. Okay, so I'm telling you guys, like, you guys gotta give respect to your healers, man. A lot of the healers, they really do try hard. A lot of healers are actually really, really good, man. There's a lot of healers in this game that are very, 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 very good healers, but you'll never hear about them, right? This healer is an amazing healer. If he's still playing, whatever guild he's in, just know you got a fucking good seasoned healer right here, right? If he's not playing anymore, then you know, at least we have the video that we can learn from him, right? But yeah, essentially the tip of the day is for healers and for essentially everybody individually as a whole. The tip of the day is basically don't get complacent, right? Don't think that whatever is being done today in ZvZ is the best way to play ZvZ. It's not. ZvZ was a much higher level before, and it was much harder to play ZvZ back in those days than it is today. Today it's very simple compared to back then. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of growth potential, right? So if you're one of the top healers in the game right now, there's still a lot for you to learn. Okay, so this is what I tell you guys, like, bring down your ego, right? Don't think that you're just the best and that means that's it, that you don't need to get better. No, you need to be looking at plays from back in the day to notice things that can actually help you today. Okay, just because a strategy or a weapon or a set or a gear or whatever it is, right? Just because it's not being used today does not mean it's no longer good. Okay, things like angles, positioning, movement, they're always going to be important in this game, no matter what we do. All right, and for callers, I mean, I guess the tip for callers is, if you have the bigger Zerg and you're fighting even numbers, but you have the bigger Zerg that's United Zerg versus, you know, split tags, you're fighting against split tags, then yeah, push one side and just don't stop until they're dead, and then turn on the other side, right? If you're the meat in the sandwich, then push out one of the bread, right? So anyway, anybody got any questions for me? Did you see me, Latorian, in the video? Was I in the video? Where was I? How you got me thinking, bro? I assume you saw me over here. Was it like towards the end? I told you guys I was in this fight. I remember it. I don't know. I don't see myself.
Regroup on ping. Come north now. Let allies zoom over. Regroup on ping. We look west. Look west.
Tamashi, look east on BA.
We walk east on. BA. Deep east on BA. Catch them on the road. They have no sprints. Deep east on the road. They have no sprints here. Deep east on BA. On BA. They just dragged a huge Camlin.
Here? Where am I? You're lying to me, dude. You're lying to me.
Stamina them here. Eastern, Eastern.
Northwest from the mini-map. Okay, I gotta pull it back. Yo, by the way, we're done. So if you don't want to watch me try to find myself in this video, you don't have to. I appreciate you guys. I don't see it, bro. Oh, northwest from the mini-map. Oh, shit. Yeah, right there. That's not out of position. Hell no. I'm inside the enemy, bro. I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. What do you mean?
On BA. They just tried
Look at that, bro. I'm doing my job.
the huge cannon. They just tried the huge cannon to them here.
I'm doing what I can, man. I'm doing what I can. All right. I'm in position. I'm in position. This motherfucker try to talk shit to my 2 years ago self.
Eastern. Keep pressuring them. Walk east in the BA. Walk east in the BA. There's a huge come here. Walk east in the BA. East in the BA. Keep coming here. Keep coming. I'm ping. Southeast.
You're too far back.
Southeast. If you're too far back, just mount, bro. Southeast on the fucking road, man. Keep coming.
I wonder if I was calling here in this part. Maybe I'm the fucking caller that made the mistake up in the northwest in the beginning of the fight. Maybe I'm the caller that made the mistake. Probably, dude. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. You guys have any questions? Drop them in the chat right now. I'll give you guys a minute because I know it's delayed. But yeah, that's it for today. I told you guys earlier, I know I have a fever, so I don't have as high energy as I usually do. I apologize. I apologize if it was a little monotone today. Okay? But it's okay. It's okay. We gonna get better one day at a time, right? I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a low grade fever. It's very low. It's not a big deal. I've been coughing a little bit. That's about it. So it's not a big deal. But it just makes me feel tired. That's all it is, man. Barely noticed. All right, then I did my job. All right. I appreciate you guys. I'm a head off now. I will see you guys in the next one. The next one is going to be on Friday. We're having episode 13, I believe. Episode 13 is going to be Clump Tanks, I think. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Clump Tanks. And by the way, now we're starting a new series, okay? So the new series is actually going to talk about individual roles of ZvZ, like Clump Tank, Disengage Tank, melee DPS, range DPS, that kind of shit, right? So we're going to talk about the individuals, and we're actually going to be looking at videos of people playing those weapons, those roles, and we're gonna go and like basically do like quick VOD reviews of each individual weapon. Okay, so that's what we're gonna be looking at. I know that I told you guys the episodes are gonna be like very podcast style, so like you don't have to actually watch, right? But yeah, for this next series, we're gonna do a little bit of VOD review in them. So if you're just listening and only listening to the things, then I'll try to describe what it is that we're seeing on the Friday and Saturday episodes. I'll try to describe it as much as possible, but there's going to be no replacement for actually watching the video as I'm describing it, right? So that's just the way we're going to do it for the next at least the next 2 to 3 weeks, probably 3 weeks. Yeah. All right. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Maybe we could burn a little. She said you're funny.